Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to NinjaTrader Live. My name is Jim Cagnina, Senior Market Analyst. Joining me live, Senior Economist, the fabulous Tracy Shuchart. Tracy, how are you?
Good afternoon. It is FOMC, our favorite day ever.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we're gonna have a pre-FOMC discussion, and then you're gonna be joined by Tony Nash in a few minutes, and looking forward to that as well. But what do you think? I mean, no surprises, even keel, nothing to see here.
Again, everybody's watching the dot plot. So if we look at um the expected June dot plot, and I'm just going to go over the voters, not the non-voters. We have in the current band at 4.25 to 4.50. We have Mausoleum and Schmid. At rung lower from 4 to 4.25, we have Kugler, Goolsby, Barr, Collins, Williams, and Bowman. This is what is expected. At 3.75 to 4, we have Jerome Powell, Philip Jefferson, Lisa Cook, and then, of course, at the lower rung, we have Waller, the dove at 3.5, between 3.5 and 3 3/4.
Yeah, interestingly
So
enough,
that is
the last dot plot in the last SEP, which was all the way back in March, they had the median Fed funds rate for December tracking 3.9. You subtract, 225 basis point cuts, and we're pretty close to that number.
yeah, absolutely. So we shall see. I have both of these up. So when we'll see, we'll be able to see exactly what the changes look like as soon as they come up. But again, it's not, they're expected to hold. It would be wild if they actually cut, but that would be out of the blue. But the Fed doesn't really do that anymore, and so we are going to be looking at the statement if there are any statement changes and the all important dot plot, and then of course, at 2:30 will be the presser. So while the order flow guys are on, I'll be watching that and posting anything relevant in the chat.
Very awesome. The other thing I'm going to be looking at is if there's going to be any changes to the quantitative tightening. They relatively recently capped the Treasury runoff at 5 billion a month, and the mortgage backs I think is still capped at 35 billion a month.
Right. Oops, I can't hear him.
So we'll keep track of that QT
Hello.
part of it. That's one thing that could change, but from the statement, it'll be interesting to see what words they change.
Sorry, I lost you there for a minute, but you're back. I don't-
Oh, my bad. Well,
yeah, it'll definitely be.
let me just repeat real quick. Maybe nobody heard me, but I'm looking at that quantitative tightening cycle here. They capped the treasuries recently at a 5 billion runoff. The rest are reinvesting. Mortgage backs are still at 35 billion. The rest are still reinvesting when those mature. So we'll see if that changes at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, since they're not uh, doing anything with rates, they're holding. Everybody's going to be looking for any possible clue they have on kind of where they think they're going next as far as, a rate cut. Of course, we had Donald Trump tweeting all morning. He wants 2.5 basis point cut today. So we know that's not going to happen.
I mean, Oh my goodness. I know, I know, I know. It's you could just cut that. You could feel the tension. It's not good, actually. I'm not a fan of that tension. There should be some kind
Yeah.
of mutual respect. Chair Powell's been nothing but a professional this whole process. I mean, he's from the press conference to his informal, speeches and stuff. He's been very, very professional.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whether you agree or not, and I'm gonna actually talk to Tony about this, whether or not the Fed is politically motivated or not. I think Powell has done a good job at trying to stay not politically motivated. But we'll get Tony's opinion on that because I do want to hear his opinion on that.
All right. Well, the Treasury market's moving. I have a 10-year Treasury note up here. It's catching a bid a little bit, driving up beyond previous sessions highs right now, getting close to that 111.80 handle right now. We just hit that Jax 2 level.
So, yep, it's a hold, obviously. Now, going to wait to find the statement changes. Just give me a minute. All right, not up yet. So, what equity markets are? I don't have any room on my screen left
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
I have the E-mini S&P up on the screen right
What do you
now,
got?
and we had initial pop up to the initial balance high. Things are kind of a little bit volatile right now, as you'd expect. It's bouncing around a little bit, but it seems like the main impetus is a little bit bullish so far. I know it's super early.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, looks like we got the statement. Uh, Statement is by side. We'll see the strike through comparison. All right, so strike through, they got rid of the unemployment rate has stabilized at a low level in recent months to the unemployment rate remains low. They have uncertainty about economic outlook has diminished but remains elevated instead of increased further. And they took out entirely, the committee judges that the risk of higher unemployment and higher inflation have risen. They completely took that statement out, which is less hawkish than that statement by a lot. And those are the only changes and nothing to their holdings. So it's that the statement is a little, I would say, less hawkish than the prior.
It looks like the median Fed funds projection still 50 basis point cut.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, the statement doesn't really, I mean, it is a little less hawkish, but not so much that you would be floored about it and get really excited about it. So again, we'll have to wait and see what Powell says, which is probably wait and see. So let me take a gander at the new dot plot. All right, and so it looks like pretty much the same. It didn't really change that much, to be honest with you. That's median for 2025 still is between, well, it kind of lowered a little bit, between 3.5 and 4. That is the median, but most of them are between 4 and 4.5. And then 26 were a band a little bit lower at between 3.5 and 4. So overall, not much has really changed that much, to be honest with you. So
The one thing I think that's a little interesting is I think in the March, as I recall, the March SEP had core PCE annualized at 2.8. And in this SEP, it looks like they have it, if I'm reading this report right, it looks like they have core PCE inflation up 30 basis points to 3.1% annualized for 2025. So it looks like they elevated that core PCE up a little bit.
So it looks like, okay, so we have 9 of the 19 policymakers penciled in fewer cuts this year, with 7 forecasting no more reductions and 2 predicting just 1 quarter point move. So a little more hawkish.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the E-mini S&P just just got the memo. It's starting to break down below JX1 a little bit.
I think we all needed to digest that plot for a minute. It's not so easy to read, or at least for me. So,
Yeah.
So that's it. So it's a little more hawkish than the language in the statement is not as hawkish, but the dot plot is definitely more hawkish than the prior, which came out. The last one came out in March.
Yeah. So I just toggled back to the 10-year note. Let me change this to a 10-minute candle really quickly just to get a little bit of a tighter peek, see what's going on. Yeah, again, we had that initial whiplash reaction all the way up to JX2, and we've kind of sold half of that away right now. So yeah, we caught a little bit of bid, but it's a tiny baby bid here in the 10-year note, suggesting maybe yields tick down a little bit, but not enough for me to be like, aha, there's a move afoot.
Right. Kind of looks the same way in indices. Kind of had a move higher, lower. My thoughts are now everybody's going to hurry up and wait for the Powell presser for kind of the next move.
Yeah, right. And with the changes in the dot plot that you just mentioned, I'm sure the presser is going to be interesting. A little bit more interesting than the last couple anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, I will be listening to that and post anything relevant in the chat, as far as what he does say.
Let's see if the
I
gold
can type
market
faster
cared.
than the news wires.
Gold market's got a little bit of a green candle to it. Gold is reacting positively. We're tracking 34.10 right now. We started at about 34.04, so about $6-7.
That's good. Let's look at silver. Silver caught a little bit of a bid too. We're less negative than we were, down about 1%. We're down about half a percent now. Platinum is still ripping, up 5%. Crude unfazed as usual in this kind of environment.
Yeah.
But we did have that big move down in crude on Trump saying that Iran wanted to negotiate, and Iran since put out a statement that said, yeah, that's not correct. So we are bouncing back from that, and all those gains all those losses are back. We're actually positive on the day, a few cents.
Yeah. Well, it's climbing back up. Crude's climbing back up. Let's just take a peek really quickly here before we get to Tony. Let's just check the Euro FX real fast, just kind of as a proxy for the US dollar right now. And yeah, again, that same knee-jerk reaction that we saw in the treasuries. Kind of sold half of it back already, sitting here at the pivot. So caught a little bit of a bid, which means the dollar's a tiny bit weaker. against the Euro FX, but again, still within the value area right now, not a lot of move.
Yeah, dollar's down about a 0.24%. So
Yeah, there we
small
go.
move.
All right, I think it's about that time. I think we got to bring in the real deal now. I think it's time to get Tony Nash on the stream right now. I'll be popping into the chat, everybody. And Tony, come on in, talk to Shai. I can't wait to hear your analysis here.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you. Thanks, Tracy. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, Tony, how are you doing? You are our
Great.
favorite FOMC
Happy Fed Day.
commentator. Happy Fed Day. Should be a national holiday, right?
Sure. At least a
All
half
right.
day.
So so I don't did you have a chance to read this statement? They took out that they took out that they took out and they took out the part about judges that the risks of higher unemployment and inflation have risen. So they took that part out. That was probably the biggest change that was made. And they just said the committee is attentive to the risks of both sides of its mandate. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think that's great in that it's a little more dovish, but they still expect core CPI to rise above 3%. So I think the Fed is very confused right now. I think they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth. I think the Fed is data dependent when it's the data that they want to pick and choose that aligns with their intended policy. I think they will reject the data that they want to reject, meaning we've seen inflation falling pretty dramatically over the last several months, and they're pretty much as hawkish as they were. The only difference is they cut in Q3 and Q4 of 24. We're in a much better position with, regardless of what they say about the jobs market, it is a tougher jobs market than it was 6 months ago. So we're in a slightly slower jobs market. We're in a much better inflation position. And they're, I would say, marginally dovish. Maybe they're, say, unhawkish at best, I think, right? But you have those voting directors who really refuse to budge.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, it was pretty, we had, so 9 of the 19 policymakers penciled in fewer cuts this year, 7 forecasting no more reductions, and 2 predicting just 1 quarter point move. So that, to me, is pretty hawkish, or more hawkish than the last dot plot that was, right? That was in March.
Here's the problem, Tracy.
And so
here's the problem. So the problem is this. They keep talking about this trade-induced inflation that's going to come, okay? Now, the transit time for a vessel from Shanghai to the US is 18 days. So if we were going to see that inflation, of course, PPI has been hit a little bit, but if we were going to see that trade-induced inflation, it would have started to hit in the May numbers. And of course, inflation in May was down. So we have this kind of, is this inflation in the room with us now kind of moment where they're kind of making this up, and I believe it's political. They're acting as if inflation is looming on the horizon. And of course, what we've seen in crude markets, that's a different root cause of inflation. But they keep blaming trade for inflation, but we just have not seen it. So they either need to recognize that there are geopolitical risks and ease on the fact that there are geopolitical risks, or they need to get right with trade. And, for all the PhDs they have, they need to serve time in a export warehouse or at a customs broker to understand how trade actually works. Because we would have seen that import-induced inflation by now if it was actually going to materialize.
Right. And so, if we're talking about, it's still this kind of higher for longer, it seems like a little bit from this latest report, what kind of risk does this pose to small businesses and the housing market, which are particularly rate sensitive? I mean, because we're already seeing a little bit of weakness in the housing market. And so what are you seeing there?
Yeah, I think there's serious weakness in the housing market because rates are elevated, and if somebody wants to move, they can't. Because if they want to move, they're going to have to take out a mortgage that is at a much higher rate than the existing mortgages they have, right? So that mobility is muted because people can't sell their existing house, first of all, at the value they want, but they also are double punished because the mortgage that they would take out is at a higher rate than their current mortgage. So that's an issue. For small business owners, we have businesses like mine who are 4+ years out from getting our employer retention tax credits, and we still have not been paid by the IRS. So there's that fiscal reality for small businesses, but we also have higher borrowing costs, and all of this impedes cash flows for small businesses. So, I know that Trump can be very annoying when he says Powell is political. But I can't disagree with it, to be very honest. I mean, it really appears that the Q3 and Q4 rate cuts were to help Kamala Harris in the election. And it appears that the standing on rates right now is to try to induce some sort of monetary issue or bank issue or something like that to freeze up the economy right now. So, we want to think that the Fed is an apolitical institution, but it's absolutely political, and that shows in their actions over the last year.
Do you think that, like, obviously, at least right now, Fed has a clear discomfort with cutting with cutting rates into maybe above target inflation, where we're not at that 2%, but it's down, and I don't know if we're ever really gonna get to that 2% again. So do you think Powell's kind of more focused on avoiding a second inflation wave, because that was all on him, kind of the first round, than kind of supporting slowing growth?
Yeah, but the Fed is not Jerome Powell's personal therapy session, right? Jerome Powell and the Fed governors have to look at where we are today. The 2% number is an arbitrary number that was invented by the New Zealand central banker 30 years ago. It's not a real number. It's a guideline number, right? And so if we look at the rate of change for CPI and for inflation, it's definitely decelerated pretty rapidly. And there's always momentum to these numbers. So it will continue to decelerate until there's some event that turns it around, right? But while it decelerates, as inflation decelerates, we get margin compression with companies, right? Because there's a kind of a sweet spot in inflation where companies can continue to raise prices and consumers don't feel it too much because they're always also getting wage rises. But we're at that point now where when companies raise prices, consumers can't afford it or they're just rejecting it. And so we're starting to get some pushback on some of those price rises that companies are starting to put across, which we didn't hear about, say, 2 years ago. So I think part of what we need to look at, Tracy, is how will the administration circumvent the Fed? And there are two ways they can do that. So if you remember from say monetary policy history, when Janet Yellen led the Fed, and I think 2013-14, she was like, "Hey guys, I'm doing all this monetary policy activity. You guys need to do some fiscal, right?" And Congress was just not forthcoming with fiscal, so she had to overcompensate on the Monpol side, right? She moves over to the Treasury in the Biden administration, and she's pumping out fiscal hand over fist, kind of growing taking money out of the TGA, all sorts of things. So Yellen played both sides of this, and during the Biden administration, you had a very accommodative Fed as well, right? But right now we're at a point where imagine Yellen on the other side. So that's where Bessent is. He's on the fiscal side saying, guys, I need some monetary policy help, and they're not giving it to him. So he's going to have to circumvent them. There are two ways that they can do that. The first is if the Fed doesn't buy back or doesn't issue more treasury bills, okay? If the Fed stopped issuing treasury bills, not all of them, but a portion of them, that keeps more money in circulation, right? When the Fed issues treasury bills, they absorb the money supply to keep the money supply contained, right? So if they don't issue as many treasury bills, then you have a larger money supply and more money in circulation. So if you can't get looser money from the Fed, the Treasury will do what they did before the central bank was in place by playing with T-bills, right? The other thing they'll do is they'll look at something called the enhanced supplementary leverage ratio, which means that banks have to keep 5% of the value of their loans outstanding in T-bills. And so the Treasury right now is working with other agencies to try to lower that rate to say 3.5%. So that would mean that banks can loan out an additional 1.5% on the value of their portfolio instead of keeping it in treasuries. Both of these things put more money into circulation and grow the money supply, which is what the Fed kind of should be doing right now because we're late cycle. They should be doing that, but they're not for what I believe are political reasons. So you have a tiny bit less hawkish Fed right now. They may get dovish by, say, September, October, which again is too late because Powell and his team are always too late. And then they'll be in a position where they have to do something because we'll have some major layoffs or we'll have a bank blow up or we'll have something like that. And then they'll say, oops, sorry, this one's on us. And then they'll cut rates like they hadn't before.
Well, what happens if we have kind of the Fed cut rates and we have the fiscal side is, adding to the money supply and the Fed does at the same time? I mean, does that bring back inflation, however? Because
it could.
I mean, we already have,
It could, but Tracy, the Fed was perfectly happy with 2.6%, 2.7% when they cut rates in last September and last November and last December. They were perfectly happy with those rates, but they're not happy with 2.3% now, which is unbelievable to me, right? I think part maybe something that they're trying to get over is the fact that equity valuations are stretched, but that's going to happen regardless, right? We're just in an era where equity valuations are stretched. So something's going to have to happen to pull those valuations back or not. I don't know, maybe we're in a new economy, but something will likely happen at some point to pull those valuations back. But I think if anything is giving them pause, that's not political, it could be equity market valuations. But there's no inflation reason that they're not being slightly more dovish because they were very comfortable to be dovish in the second half of last year when inflation rates were much higher. And now, for some reason, they've got caution. And again, it's 100% political, I believe.
And what do you think? What do you think Powell is going to signal today in the presser? And how do you think markets will interpret it? Kind of tight, more kind of a soft form of tightening, or
Yep.
a little more dovish.
Well, Powell always 100% over calibrates in his pressers. So the pattern is Powell over calibrates either on the loose side or the hawk side. And then in the week after his presser, other governors have to come out and give speeches to play cleanup for whatever Powell says. So he will probably be, I would guess, too hawkish on this because his feelings are hurt over some stuff that Trump said. So he'll probably be too hawkish. And then other governors will have to come out and say, we're hawkish, but we're not that hawkish. Because I would guess with his comments, and I don't know, I haven't heard them yet, but we're going to see markets take a pause because his comments will be overly hawkish. And then we'll see governors come out later in the week, early next week to say, well, we're hawkish, but we're not that hawkish. I believe that that's what's going to happen because he can't really come out with an on message statement. He always overdoes it. He's a PE guy. He can't help it.
It's, he's a PE guy. He can't help it. Well, to do, I mean, so I mean, I get you thinking that it's all political, but do you think, again, do you think Powell is walking kind of this tightrope, or the Fed is walking a tightrope? I mean, do you see this nasty, awful inflation that's supposed to show up that hasn't showed up as far as tariffs are concerned yet?
I don't. I mean, it's possible, but let's think about where inflation would come from. Well, right now it's coming from energy, right? We see crude prices pop, and it's coming from energy because of geopolitical risk. We look at trade, and again, we've seen the PPI pop up a little bit, but CPI continues to fall. And unless there's some sort of weird latent tariff thing that's going to come in, we would have seen at least the start of that in May data, but we didn't. We didn't see that in producer prices. So is it going to come from wages? It's not going to come from wages because that already happened, a year, 2, 3 years ago. Where's it going to come from? We're just not seeing it. And I'm not exactly sure where that's going to come from. Of course, we'll see some moderate inflation because of tariffs. But again, if you have a blanket 10% tariff, that doesn't mean the price of your goods are going to rise 10% because largely, there are markups with the distributor and the ultimate seller. There are component parts that are imported that are assembled here, other things. So just because you have a 10% rise in tariffs doesn't mean that materializes in the pricing level. And then there's substitutionality. So for as smart as these guys are supposed to be, allegedly at the Fed, they're really not smart about understanding how value chains are put together. And again, their statements to me are more political. I'd really like to see the other side of it. I'd really like to see somebody help me understand why it was acceptable to have 3 cuts in the second half of last year and not even have at least a dovish message going into the summer. Because July, August are effectively non-events, right? So we're going into the summer. We're not even remotely dovish. And so the next chance for something is September. And so in the meantime, we could, anything could happen. So I think a little bit of a dovish statement or tone here would have gone a long way. I didn't exactly expect a cut, but I did hope for a little bit more dovishness from the Fed.
Right. We'll have to see what Powell says exactly, but effectively there was a tiny bit, again in that statement. So, when we first started, first Fed meeting of this year, you thought they would have more cuts than they did. I think everybody did. So looking forward, where do you see? Have you totally changed your mind about this, or how many cuts do you see happening at all? And will they be forced to cut for some reason? Where could you see them being forced to cut?
I think short of, how much worse does it get than Israel, Iran? I mean, what other geopolitical shocks are we going to have, right? So, do we have, Russia, Ukraine flare up, something like that? I don't know what else could happen aside from the start of, say, layoffs or something like that, right? I mean, we had government layoffs in May and June, as those Doge cuts started to come in. Are we going to see some private sector layoffs? Maybe, but I think a lot of that's been absorbed. The fear of tariffs has largely been absorbed. So, at this point, I have to expect probably 2 cuts. I would hope for 3, but have to expect 2 cuts. And at the same time, hope that the Treasury actually does some things on their auctions to keep more currency in circulation and to reduce that holding, that risk management holding of treasuries at banks, so that we can raise the money supply a little bit, because the Fed's going to screw up, but they're never going to accept blame, and there's zero accountability. So the Treasury is going to have to take up that slack.
So what does this do to equity markets? Are we just going to continue to march higher because there's more liquidity in the system?
Well, there's not more liquidity in the system yet. So that's incremental. So those treasury approaches would be incremental approaches. And so I think it's possible, but I think, for many reasons, we're probably range bound for a little while until we get clear direction one way or another. Once we start seeing, if this big bill passes, if there are, business positive things there, that will change the trajectory of specific industry segments. So we'll just have to see. I mean, I'm really torn as to whether or not that will pass. I know people on the Hill who say, yeah, it's probably going to pass, but there are some changes. I know people who say there's no way it's going to pass. It's going to, they're going to miss the July 4th deadline. It's going to go into August and it's going to be panic mode. So it really, if that passes, say, in July, it's possible that has a very positive impact on some segments. I wouldn't think things like, say, solar and EVs and that sort of thing would rally, but you could see some other segments rally that would be supported by the bill. So but we can think about that, but until we know the final form of that, I would be very careful to place bets based on the outcome of that bill at this point.
Excellent. And with that, Tony, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you the next meeting.
Thank you.
And up next, we have, thank you. Up next, we have the order flow guys. We have Nick Fortick and Stowe.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey, Tracy, how's it going?
Hey, guys. Doing good, doing good. I'm going to go get to the presser, and you guys have at it.
All right, cool. Keep us posted. Let me know if anything spicy happens.
Will do.
So, Stowe.
What's up, Nick? Hey, bud.
How's it going, buddy?
Oh, fine. Just got stopped out for break even just now. So that was great.
Did you trade pre-statement release or the aftermath?
Yeah, both. So I got in at this OR mid. Took me a couple shots down here, but got a good bit of points. And then, then I got out for the 2 p.m. minutes. And then we came back down here and we were just messing around with the open again. So I don't know, scalped it again and then got flat again for the presser.
Yeah, presser just getting started here. I'm assuming Powell's moments into his dual mandate and 2% target and data dependence speech that we've all heard thousands of times at this point, and going back the last 4 years probably.
Yeah.
So kind of a muted reaction. I mean, no shock I didn't cut, but I was able to catch a decent long kind of in the I guess pre-release, and I was trying to get out because then I looked at the time and saw we were seconds away from that releasing. I got the God candle and just quickly flattened out of it. So I had a good laugh as I literally was in the position because I wanted to test the position tracker indicator that we threw on for the show.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is a decent long. This makes sense. Let me just try it here. And then it kept working out. And then I quickly realized what time it was and needed to quickly flatten that trade. So haven't taken anything since, but pretty muted reaction so far.
Yep. Yeah. So I assume they didn't do anything based on the nothingness of that. And now I'm stopped out. I want to stay long over this RTH open. I want to stay long. Over this 980 spot. Yeah, I still like it. Yeah, now I'm stuck. I can't get back in. But I think this is just fine to just trade this balance and this price action for now. It doesn't seem like, I mean, it's not low liquidity.
No, we barely
Seems safe.
It's pretty safe. We're in the set. I mean, maybe not entering in the center of value, but for the most part, we've just been like balancing this whole week, and we were basically balancing with a little more volatility in Thursday and Friday last week. So the market hasn't really moved a lot in the last 6 weeks on NQ or ES. Like we
Yeah, let
kind
me
of left
look.
that 3-week balance, moved up just slightly, but we really have not moved very much at all.
Yeah, we're just sitting in this big boy right here. It's right smack dab in the middle.
But how'd you trade this morning?
Good and then bad.
Yeah.
Yes, I gave way too much back trying to stay on the trend. Yeah, I should have left the desk for sure. I'm annoyed at myself for doing that. Yeah, the pre-minutes trend day has been a thing the last 4 times. Or not minutes, the pre-presser trend day has existed. All 4 times, the last 4, they've all been, here's some spicy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They've all had a little trend to start the day. But yeah, that sell just wiped me out. So coming into this afternoon, a little bit red. I'm trying to watch this now. Down here, now we're back at our spot. There's definitely been this active selling up here at the overnight high. I don't know. Let me move this down to 2, see if I can get in.
Yeah, it's the second time they've kind of reoffered up there. Granted, once was during the statement release, but it still seems like last week's. I guess is that closer to last week's buy area high on NQ?
All my stuff is a little messed up from roll also.
That's true. I keep forgetting it's roll week.
One in there, so
it does seem like we did shift the volume a little earlier. Like it was, I mean, I rolled Monday afternoon basically, and I don't know. It seemed like the market kind of didn't wait. Probably with the holiday tomorrow, and with FOMC, everyone was just trying to jump to September. So not the worst roll week.
no.
Tracy said Powell sounds hawkish.
Okay. He sounds hawkish. Okay. I like this coming in here.
We reoffer this again.
Yeah, we came down and kicked off the open again. Pretty clean. Oh, short. Yeah, there we go. Let's get that position tracker right where it needs to be. Sure. Yeah, we're adding stuff to the charts, so bear with us while we figure out how to make sure that lines up with the split screen.
That was like you though, Stowe. I had to immediately change it to blue.
Yeah, I can't handle green. Green doesn't mean anything to me anymore.
Yeah, it's just you're so used to it. I have one chart that's red and green, mainly just because I was too lazy to switch it. But yeah, I'm just, I guess, baptized in the red and blue these days.
It's Leo's fault, just like most color palette things.
And the monochromatic look on my. Granted, I put my own spin on my long time frame charts with my white candles.
Just watching. Yeah, nothing really sitting there. Got 38 on there. There's been some interesting liquidity moving around on ES today. I'm trying to figure out if that's still showing back up. Actually spent a good bit of time watching ES. This 64 area kept getting, somebody kept reoffering that as well. It was the point of control for a moment until it moved back down to 57s. Looks good. Keep a tight leash on this. There you go. Bid seems happy, Nick.
I know. This was This was kind of a weird session. It reminded me of Monday a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then obviously the volatility that we've seen in the last 30 plus minutes, but
Yeah, this 22,035 spot is annoying again.
yeah, trading, I mean, came down to kind of retest even twice the same spot. I think you and XY were trading in the early part of power hour yesterday. That like 920s, 930s.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, we wicked right off that pre-FOMC again.
Okay.
I hate shorting in the presser, I guess. It never seems to work.
Yeah, I don't see that side right now, but it doesn't mean that it's not there. I mean, it just means that this RTH open print has been relentless with holding that up. Eh. There you go.
There we go.
Just got to beat this 35 guy, Nick.
I just don't want to see us just continue to ping pong around the session's value area.
What
during
color tie does he
FOMC.
have, Tracy? We need to know.
Yes, it is important today.
Fed sees its preferred inflation gauge topping 3% this year, higher than previously forecast. Okay.
It's a standard, typical purple Jerome Powell tie.
Nice. Okay.
I'm shocked there. I mean, I think it would be minus like 10,000 on purple if there was some sort of betting line for Jerome Powell's tie. I think
There's
it would
got to be
great
one.
if he didn't at this point wear a purple tie.
What's the weird? Yeah, I forget what that weird thing is that you can bet on everything.
Poly market or whatever.
Yeah, that thing. There's got to be some Powell odds. Anyways, sorry, I got too sucked into that. How's it going, chat? How's everybody doing?
It's looking good for you still.
Yeah, so far. We'll see. We gotta beat this guy too. Weekly view op right here too, so I don't know if it's got any more juice in it to get this overnight high.
Oh, they're gonna go for the RTH high. It looks like on ES.
Gotta hold it. That was encouraging. Okay, showtime. Showtime overnight high.
Get it.
I feel like every time I get to this dumb thing, I feel like that Rick and Morty. Show me what you got. But yeah, we're revisiting that the 2 p.m. news spike here, so that could just be as far as we're gonna get with this. I'm gonna flatten if we dunk down underneath 50.
Overnight high, previous month high, initial balance high, all sitting right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's coming down. Need the bid to step in right there. It's going to keep cruising. I'm thinking about it. But I'm not trying to be a hero on Fed Day.
If you try to be a hero on FOMC day, it usually is catastrophic.
Yes.
Show me what you got.
Awesome. Good work, guys. Good work. Thank you.
Team. Just absolutely crushing it with sound effects lately.
I like that
I
Tony
know, was
Nash guy.
that loaded on the board, or did they quickly Google, download the file, and
I think they got it that fast, man. I don't think
That
they've
was
had that on the
impressive.
board.
I love it.
So it's definitely, the bid is definitely absorbing this spot right here. This 50s is selling into it. There's like 98. It's like, oh my, it's quite a bit actually. Happy to buy. Let's see if it can survive.
I'm gonna try to short one here, just to
Good
buck
call.
this little spike. Actually, we'll do a new high day. Let's see. So I'm short 67s
Okay.
in ES. Sorry.
Which is cool. I gotta flip over to ES and see what it's up to. I'm just staring at this dumb Dom.
There we go.
All right, cool. That was a good trade. We got 35. That's good. Nice short. That was fast.
Yeah, saw the opportunity, saw it changing real quick, and it's like that's the thing with FOMC. If you're going to trade this, it's like you kind of have to have those reflexes that you and XY seem to have. I'm just a little, I guess, old man, and without hotkeys.
That's not true.
And that little bit of hesitation that I just, for some reason, during RTH during the RTH Open, because I usually trade, obviously, basically New York Open to Euro Close, I'm not as hesitant sometimes to jump in when I see something, just probably because it's just a touch faster. So I kind of know I have to get in if I want to actually make some money. But let's see if we can rotate this down towards 60 50s. I'll probably exit it, but we do have the lovely big round psychological number of the spoos at 6,000 here around like 54s. So we could definitely find some resistance there once again with all of our 0 DTEs.
Thinking about it.
Nick,
again.
time for you to trade the ZN. Yeah, I'm just going to become a bond trader.
Is that a bond?
I
Okay,
don't have the reflexes anymore for NQ. I can just
refuse to donate any more money to big data, frankly. So I canceled my YM subscription after we did that meme day of me trading the Dow.
I mean, sir, there is still a YM long time frame chart in my my Sunday playbook here, just for you.
Come on, bid.
And so we rejected right off that 6,000 spot.
So I moved my. Oh, did we really? Nice. Yeah, I moved my. I changed my bracket to this super tight 2-lot guy. So we're playing real tight today. That was a good pullback though.
Yeah, right to last week's value low. See if they give it another shot. If not, I'll probably exit this.
This is a busy place again. I feel like if they're going to pull back to this RTH Open again, they're probably going to go down and get that mid.
Yeah, I could see it.
All right, they got me on that second half. Got me in the second half, not going to lie. I mean, they did try to sell this like a lot. So this is all these highs we're just coming back and pushing back into. That's why I'm interested now that we've cleared it a couple times. If we can hold all this stuff.
Yeah.
But it seems
like they're really trying to push this, but
yeah.
It's like there's just, as stupid as it is, like there's so much options activity at 600 SPY, 6,000 SPX. So God knows this is going to take a little bit of effort here.
Yeah. Mm,
Come on. I mean, I would usually just take 10 points and call it a call it a trade, but let's
especially
see.
on ES.
Yeah, like let's see if we could rotate this down to the other side of value though, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And Q, kind of right back to you said, like the daily open, and that's like the value area low on the session.
Mm,
Little more.
yeah. I'm gonna get out of that. All right. All right.
You guys get free commission on Ninja? No, we do not.
No.
We pay our commissions just like everybody else.
That would be sick.
That would be really cool. I'd just be like degen trading micros like crazy.
I do need to figure out how to fix that that commission thing though. I can get it to work on like my dashboard P&L. It reflects the correct commissions, but when I pull a trade analysis or not trade analysis, trade performance, I said it's not doing the thing anymore. So yeah. So that's this weekend's project, I think.
Let's see if we just can get a little more. We reject off. Nope. Okay.
There you go, bud. You're
Let's
getting
see.
Phil.
We get the 50s. Oh, that's like one tick. Come on.
It did it to you.
All right, let's see. Tape might be changing on that low. I might exit. Come on. One more attempt. Give me 50. That is the adage of you do not be a nick for a tick right there. You should not. And I'm about to understand why and probably just have to hit close. And we're out. All right. So there you go. That's why you don't do that. So solid trade there. I'll take 13 points.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Great short.
13 ES points usually is pretty good, but that was a
that's
kind of
pretty-
ugly wick
What did I get?
on ES that I'm not gonna screw around with that rejection real quick.
Yeah, I got back in around 2000. Again, not a great fill, but we came down and tagged the open again. Just half size, just trying to stay on there. See if we can float back up, back into value. Ugh, getting heavy.
Yes, me getting ticked is now becoming like a meme on the show.
I don't like it anymore.
God, they continue to reoffer. I mean, it's so hard to being greedy when you're trying to scalp around the FOMC press conference is just a mistake. So you got to just be happy with that. Let's see if we're going to break this though. Where'd you get in, Sto?
It's like in 2000. I tried to buy the open, but they smacked me a little bit. I'm going to get stopped. Yep.
Yeah. See, XY knows the real alpha in this show is tuning in and waiting for Nick to set a stop order somewhere. Absolutely. As you can see,
XY is a professional fader of his friends. That is confirmed.
But like, let's talk about this because even me exiting out was almost on the high tick of that little rebid that came back to kind of the weak mid. So, and then we got to my original order. So there you go. There's something to it.
That's heavy now. All right.
Yeah, this is looking a little heavy.
Let's go to ES. Yeah, they got a chance to if they're gonna
Make a new low.
Yeah, if they're gonna take those out, this could get super spicy. Oh, a big splash.
It's one of those situations trading while our lovely Fed president is talking, but sometimes it's like I'm curious what he was saying or what the question was that led to the reversal or whatever it is. What did the market not love in his tone or his statement?
Do you think it really thinks about it?
No, I don't think he thinks about it. I want to know. I don't think he cares at all what the market's doing. I would love to know if he's seen the memes and everything else, though.
He's got to have seen the memes.
The
There's
money
no
printer
way.
back in 2020, like I'm sure he has.
He's about to see some trading cards. That's what he's about to see.
I'm very excited for those. I want the limited edition Volcker card though.
I'm working on the Volcker card. There's not the problem with the public domain. I have a lot of licensing things I need to solve. That's
so
for
this
sure.
is actually like legit. Like you're trying to do this like legitimately and real.
Yeah, it's a very stupid hobby, but yes, this is what I'm going to do for fun. I recently got back into baseball cards a lot, so that is kind of kicking this off for me a little bit. And so I play that video game, MLB The Show, and inside of that game is like, it's a mode where you're basically collecting cards from throughout history, and then you get to play them. And my kid got really into it. She loves opening the virtual packs and seeing, like, getting to know all the players and stuff. We watch baseball games together sometimes, but she's less interested in that. Which, I mean, who's to blame her? I can't get most adults to watch a baseball game with me.
This is very true.
But yeah, I don't know. I had that dumb idea and then I just started making it and they look so cool. It just might be one of those ideas that's so stupid that it might work. And I did the poll and it won by 1%. So now I have to at least keep trying to do it. It would be cool if the Volcker card came with a free cigar. That would be awesome. I thought about getting back in there, but then I did not.
I mean, in the event of total Armageddon, the week open on the September contract is going to push us back down towards 6,000 on ES.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. We still haven't tagged that open, and it's way down there on NQ.
I was thinking about that yesterday when we were kind of hitting those lows, and I was like, oh, okay, so maybe we're actually going to tag that now, and we still didn't. So let's see.
So we got previous day low at 909. This is selling off now. It has not quite made a new low.
Yeah, low of the day.
There it goes.
There it is. And previous day low.
Yep, just tagged it.
So there you go, folks. I flattened my short and we continue to roll over. So I guess I am the meme.
I mean, you can't like you said, dude, you can't get greedy. No. You can't get greedy on Fed Day.
Yeah, like I was going into that trade thinking I'm going to get 50 points on ES. Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't think we're living in that volatility regime at the moment. Because, I mean, a no cut is still it's still a nothing, right? To a degree, irregardless of how much weird stuff he says into the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to get in above this previous day low, see if it's going to hold.
Nick, are those line markers available for free and or on mobile? If you're referring to the MGI levels that you're kind of seeing in my charts, some of those are available in OrderFlow Labs free edition. Oof, getting a little violent here.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe we'll go tag the week open. What is it on NQ?
It's far away.
We got a ways, yeah.
Yeah. It's like 720 or something?
772 roughly on September. Which I think everybody at this point has rolled, so.
I would hope so.
I don't know what you've been trading today or yesterday if you weren't. Probably a little illiquid.
I'll wake up and see.
That's what you were asking? Okay, cool. Yeah, the freemium edition has, I think the weekly MGI levels, maybe some others. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know there is an MGI component to it.
Yeah, let me see. Let me look. I'm not in a
I was
trader.
like, it's been a while since I checked what Leo and the crew threw in the freemium.
All right. In the free OFL, yes, weekly MGI is in the free OFL. Yep, confirmed. And then you got the VWAP, better Delta, Delta Dominance Detector, Delta Towers, all kinds of cool Delta stuff if you want to check that out and just start learning about Delta. You too can do that. By the way, irregardless is a word. It's you can look it up. I get into beefs about this all the time. I think maybe they added it to the dictionary after I guess this roll gap's right here at 855, huh?
$8.55?
Yeah, I have some sort of gap, 885 to 855, and I assume that is the roll gap. I don't know though. I'm not sure when that was created. All my stuff gets a little strange when we roll, so
That is true.
that's why the other reason I don't like this week.
I think the amount of times this week I have talked about my disdain for this week. Started on Sunday, and every time I show my face, it's just more. I hate roll week. I don't know how much I'm going to trade on Friday. I may call it a 4-day weekend, to be honest.
I really like this spot. That would be cool.
Haven't had one of those in a while.
Okay, we're testing this volume node. Hmm. Hmm. Well, irregardless is indeed found in some dictionaries and is used by some speakers. It's generally considered a non-standard word, according to Merriam-Webster. Well, that sounds like me. That sounds like something I'd be into, non-standard words. Oh yeah, Tiger Dan. I've got so as far as minor league teams go, we have the Altoona Curve, which is relatively close to me. It's like an hour and a half. That's double A. Um their farm league is in Bradenton. I've got to go down and watch some spring training games for the Pirates a couple times. That's a wonderful time. And then our AAA is in Indianapolis, so not super close, but I have made that drive for sure.
Buyers trying here. The best minor league team. I mean, there's a couple great teams and mascots, but the Angels AA affiliate is the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Oh, sick. Yeah, that's
It
great.
literally is a raccoon in a trash can, which is just great.
That free commissions on Ninja question is funny.
That was great. Trading is a non-standard career.
It's true.
Yep.
You got to be weird.
Trust me, every time I think about going back to an old career, the old world, it's just like I don't know how well I do at this point, getting back into that.
Yeah. Looks
I think
like
I'm
they
too
took
seasoned in my non-standard career now.
my stop. My entry must have been bad on that.
I might try this long. Can we get back a little bit lower?
I liked being in at that previous day low. Let me look at what he is.
I know I was kind of sleeping as we were talking and doing other things down there. I'll take the IB low though if it holds.
Let's see. Maybe a new high here above this candle. Convince me.
Leave without me.
There we go. Yep.
Yep.
They left without me too, buddy.
They gone.
Rats. Feels bad, man.
What I get. That's what we get for talking about minor league baseball for 2 minutes.
Yep. That was one that needed all the focus, and it didn't get it. That's okay. Yeah, sweep the previous day low. Tons of exhaustion there at leg 895. Yeah. Frustrating couple of days, actually. I'm going to book a red week this week. It's going to be pretty hard for me not to. So I might just also take Friday off and regroup.
Yeah, definitely not the worst idea. I mean, I have no intention of even putting any sort of order on the book tomorrow or tonight.
No, those noon close days, man, there's no point. No. Yes, chat. Just so you guys know, the market is closed tomorrow. Early, the futures market, the New York Stock Exchange is closed altogether, I think. But the futures market is closed at noon Central Time.
And then we'll reopen for our usual Globex Open.
Yeah.
And then Friday's normal, but it is OPEX post FOMC post holiday. So it's just like, I don't know if I really want to trade that tape.
Yeah. CME's not closed on Friday, right? Friday's just a normal day for a minute. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm 99% sure it's a normal day on Friday. Normal hours.
That one frustrated me, Nick.
Yeah, I set a bracket for a trading day, a couple accounts on the low earlier today, and that's kind of how I felt missing this one. Just kind of that little hesitancy, and it's already gone, and I'm not going to chase it now. But yeah, that was right there at previous day low on NQ, wasn't it? Like that was pretty perfect. Pretty low risk as you could get even if you wanted to set a stop on another new low right there.
Let's see what it's doing now. And we kind of pulled back and, we retested all this stuff, these lows. I guess I can drag this over so you guys can see it. So yeah, this was, the low from 1. And then that's, so all these lows that I was buying the heck out of, that's where we just came up and touched off there. So now that we're in, I guess maybe I should give that idea up for now.
Yeah, I don't really want to enter
frustrating. Frustrating.
Name that movie.
We are getting into a name that movie.
That is a name that movie quote, because if you know that one, you operate in a very similar world in mine than I do. So please let me know that movie. Job's got it.
Nice.
That is from Beer Fest. That I use that GIF all the time for people.
What a time for movies that was.
I know. That like 2005 to 2010, they don't make them like that anymore.
Nope. No, they do not. Hmm. 308. Powell's talking about the Fed cutting 10% of its workforce and the market bouncing on it is hilarious. Yeah, that's fair. Tracy, who was it that was giving a speech that was saying firing Fed officials would be bad for the market? I forget what Fed official was saying that, but that was the best day of all time. Maybe that was Besant or Besant. Nick, how do you say that guy's name?
I thought it was Besant, but I mean, I let the smarter people talk to me.
The chat had me convinced it was pronounced like croissant, like Besant.
It's like croissant. So it's Besant.
Yeah, Omid's in there still. He's the one that tricked me before. That's when I learned the chat like truly cannot be trusted.
Or is it Besant? I have no idea. I've only read that word. Oh. Well, while we're taking a little pause in the action here, if you're enjoying the stream and Stowe and I trying to fumble our way through the FOMC presser trade, please do hit that thumbs up button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We very much appreciate it. And my influencing is achieved for the day. I'm a
That
good
was
boy.
pretty good. I mean, we're getting some sweeps now, some buy sweeps. Not sure they're going anywhere. There's some bids kind of stacking on the book too.
I don't know if I'd buy this again right now.
Yeah, we're back in this 20-30 spot again.
Like the chat's giving us grammar lessons on how to pronounce it, and I don't know who to trust.
Well, I mean, no matter what, you can't
And
trust the chat.
I was
So
gonna say, and I don't know.
that's a rule.
That
That's
is
a general rule.
the first any of them I should be trusting with, because if I don't know, I mean, who knows who actually has heard it correctly pronounced?
Girl Trader's like, yeah, that guy's not French. That's fair. All right. I don't want to assume. I don't want to make assumptions.
See, and now they're giving us like the actual way to pronounce it, but is it like I can still mispronounce
Bassant.
because is it Bess and
It's Bass.
Is it Pam or Pan?
Bertram, is it like the fish? Or wait, no. Bertram said basement. No, that's not it. Lies again. Stanley 1K, is it bass like the fish? See, Tracy says it's bass, not bass.
The B is silent.
The B is silent.
That one got me. There's two M's. Now we're just being trolled by the chat. It's great.
That's good. That's what they're for. We appreciate you, chat. I'm glad you're having a good time.
Well, it looks
I
like
struggle to catch this long.
we're gonna hold this.
Oh boy. ES sure looks worse than NQ does right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, NQ definitely looks more constructive. ES looks like it's going to run my entry. I'm gonna put a stop just below previous day low. If we take that out, we're probably gonna make a new low.
More words into the microphone just then, I'm sure. Yep. There it goes.
There we go. All right. So give me more than that. Come on. If the meme
That was rude.
continues on that. Yep. So I mean, guys, can we pretend? Can we even pretend anymore that the black van is not outside my house? Like, is there any point to this anymore? Because this is like, that's
boy.
How many trades is that?
That sucked.
Yeah, I'm sure XY was right there along my stop.
Yep. Good job, XY.
Like, it's not even a meme, guys. Like, this is actually true on the show. Like, I'm going to zoom in on this. Make sure this is really well centered in the split screen here. That is a to the tick stop out on that low.
Yep.
I don't know what else to say. Have better stops, I guess.
Nah, we got hosed on that. That's
Nick to the exact tick. Yes. That one's too easy to say. Name that show. Yeah, XY. That's the logic. Just, you know, I can't get stopped if there is no stop. I can be margin called. That's rough.
So they did. So the thing is, they didn't cut today, and now
They
they're
did
just talking about why they didn't cut again.
Probably a number of things that
Okay.
our lovely financial journalism space is currently asking Daddy Powell himself, but I don't know. It's a bunch of economists and journalists. I think everyone knew. I think Tracy was saying the other day that it was like a 99.9% chance that they were going to hold. It was more so like, what is the future of cuts with the dot plot and other things kind of look like? And then how is his demeanor and tone during the presser? Is he hawkish? Is he dovish? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get a cut pre-Jackson Hole. I would assume no. But I think everyone was pricing in September cuts.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious to know, are they pricing in, Tracy, are they pricing in a more cuts, or are they more likely, are they pricing in a higher percentage that they're going to cut? Sorry, I could not find the words for September now than they were pre-meeting. I don't know if that made any sense, but I think you know what I'm saying. Are Fed fund futures pricing in a more likely cut in September now than they were pre this FOMC? That is the question.
OR mid again.
Same percentage. Okay.
I think got retested. Try this long again. I keep getting one off.
Trump's talking somewhere as well.
Oh, good.
It's just what we need. That so is long.
That tracks. No, it's important. Yeah, I doubt he would want. I mean, if somebody's gonna have a press conference, you might as well have one at the same time, right?
I mean, didn't he one up him the last FOMC too?
I can't remember, but yeah, he did something. I can't remember what it was. It was something equally as hilarious as that. Like he got on at like 3:15 as soon as Jay Powell was done and said something like, "We need to cut, we need to cut 4 whole points or something crazy."
Yeah, in the market, I maybe it was not the last FOMC. Maybe it was like 2 FOMCs ago. But we had that one was wild.
Mm-hmm. It's trying to scratch me out again.
Did Powell actually say that?
Trying to hold these highs from before.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Can't tell if it's reloading or not. Looks like it might be. Is that it's like is that roll algo back in here too? My word. I might just be dizzy from looking at the DOM for 3 days already.
I'm still dizzy by getting stopped out on that trade.
I got it. I got backing up here for spite, Nick.
I mean, I appreciate you trying to gather points for the both of us. Gosh.
Spite points.
Spike points. Sure, XY is just riding that long for my stop.
I might be trading too fast for XY to even be tracking these stops right now. XY is probably the one that came up with this position tracker so he could figure out how to fade us as efficiently as humanly possible.
Yep. I mean, I think I short your stop out yesterday, and then I tried to do it a second time. Or a second, I tried to short the same spot basically again, and then I ate the stop. So it all works itself out eventually.
Lauer, I'm on a 75 volume time frame right now. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it did find a way to put us in this tiny range. It's like a small range and it's wicking us out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Perfect. This was a fun one, Nick. Do you see this? Where I got stopped out just on MNQ where NQ did not trade there. That was good.
Oh, that's the worst.
Just so everybody knows that I too experienced that. And here goes price cruising up. Yeah, in the context of the day, I don't see us not getting back to this to the point of control at least. It's still doing normal price action stuff. It's just extra hard to get into. That's maybe the most frustrating Fed day. I don't mind a Fed day that is completely insane and there's no way for me to trade it, but a Fed day that is tradable but also not tradable at the same time is infinitely more frustrating. Powell's done. Nice.
There's usually a nice random reaction as soon as that presser ends for some reason.
The market just breathes
Mm-hmm.
a breath of fresh air. That sounds ominous, Jay. Oh, he's done all right. I don't know. Did that Supreme Court case ever happen where they could figure out if you can fire Fed officials? I know that has been like a weird, contentious legal conversation ever since they came up with that.
I don't know if I ever heard anything more about it.
Because you technically can't remove appointed folks unless there is like some sort of malfeasance or something. I forget what it was.
You'd think it'd be like a checks and balances for the Fed where they, as the voting members in theory, could remove someone or replace somebody if there were enough votes or whatever. Rather
Bullard
than
would have done that. Bullard would have done that coup in 2022 for sure.
probably.
That guy hated keeping rates at zero. I feel like it gave him
It's been
drove him
funny.
completely insane.
It was funny to watch even when they were raising, there's like always like that lone dissenter who's like, no, we need to go to 6%. Like somebody that was continuing to be like, we need more. And you just wonder who it was.
It's like, yes, Joe, thank you. We get it again. Okay. Thank you. There's always one. There's always one guy. I've spent so little time in my life in any sort of bureaucracy. I can't imagine what it's like to chill like that. I'm sure it's exhausting.
Wonder if we get a reaction back at 55 on ES.
Sure reclaimed that node, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. If only I didn't get stopped out. Wouldn't be worrying about looking for a reaction to potentially re-offer at 55. They'd just be riding this to a new high of the day or something.
Pulling back to it now. How do you find that 5-minute opening range works on ES?
I mean, pretty good.
Yeah?
I still screw around every once in a while on NQ, but just like dumping it to like a 1 minute sometimes. And
Okay.
just like in the session, like seeing like, okay, was there anything that's set up on the 1 minute? And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So I don't know if there's any validity to it, but for the most part, I think there is, just like we would see on NQ, or Leo's talked about with NQ several times. Like there are those same setups that can manifest on the 5 minute on ES. But
yeah,
I mean, it depends. Some days I just don't trade ES as much as I do for the show, just to give people something a little different than the rest of us just trading NQ all the time. But there's those days I just have no desire to trade it some mornings. Now Trump's talking. I thought he was already talking.
Oh,
No,
he's got to follow up.
Looks like he's talking more about Iran.
Okay. I mean, is he excited about it? Is he not excited about it? What's he saying?
I mean, this was a couple minutes ago. Says Trump when asked about the Mideast, I don't want to get involved. So,
okay. I mean, who would?
Yep.
I'm sure it's a massive pain.
Market's upset that he didn't announce the buy one, get one deal on the phones. That's coming. XY.
I want to see that Trump mobile so bad.
I feel like I should just get one and just like keep it in the box forever.
Yep, that's a good idea. It's like our generation's version of like a Reagan pin or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what did you have when you were growing up? Oh, we had Trump mobile. That was cool.
Oh, 24 karat and 14 karat versions. I was confused.
Wouldn't it be funny if your phone was actually gold and it like you squeezed it too hard and it bent?
Yeah. But didn't that happen with I don't know if it was Samsung or one of the Android phones that like it was completely bending in people's back pockets when they sat down?
It can't be Samsung because that thing was, or wait, that's Nokia. Sorry. I was thinking the indestructible phone, the Nokia phone.
Oh, the one that you would play Snake on?
Yes.
You're younger?
Snake.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thing,
yes.
You could have taken a sledgehammer to that. It ain't going to break.
And more violence down here.
Looks like ES wants to take out the low again.
NQ's at its IB now.
Maybe that was the fake out stow, and then they're going to use M period to go at least tag the week open on ES. NQ still has work to do. I don't know if we're going to get a 200-point flush.
Yeah. That would be pretty weird. $6,000 ES just seems like cheating, though, you know?
I mean, that's where they opened it on the September contract. It's like, okay, real original.
You know, when the simulation gets lazy like that, you know.
That's how I feel sometimes. It's just like, are we really going to close exactly at 600 SPY or something? It's just like, come on, guys.
Yep. This damn rollout goes back, dude. The gall of this thing to show up on the Fed day. You're supposed to chill and take this day off. Roll algo.
Yeah. Yeah, the Razor was fun too. Way back when.
I mean, you guys think it's hard to text and drive now. You should try to do that with T9 back in the day.
Yeah, you kids with all of your web-based trading platforms don't know the language that was the T9 word.
I could still do it. My wife and I tried the other day to see if we could.
It probably would take me a message or two, but I'm sure I could pick it back up.
Yeah. And he really held that previous day low again. Need that quick one. Zip.
Literally just a wick off previous day low, and now it's going to go back up. I just don't want to trade this after getting punished like that on my last loss.
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh.
But that tape changed. I don't know what happened to. Ooh, that ES load looks terrible now too.
I know.
I keep glancing over at our dual screen so I can see ES2, and it has not once been
Not
good
ideal.
news for me.
It's not ideal.
Ugh, gross.
That's why I didn't press the button at previous low. I was like, maybe it's gonna go clean that up a little bit. Make a new low, please. Nope.
It's getting happy. Let me try to put this on here. Make sure I'm not doing anything too stupid. Okay. All right.
They're gonna leave without me again.
No, I don't think so. I think you're good.
Stowe, you have a question. Do you
Oh,
mind
sorry.
explaining how you read the red and blue trade volume thing in the middle? I assume you're talking
Sure.
about the delta profile.
Yeah, for sure. So what you're looking for here, the blue is offer delta, the red is bid delta, and depending on where you're at, like for example, say we were long down here, once we got, I mean, obviously I got stopped out, unfortunately, but we got up here and then all of a sudden there was a ton of blue delta that appeared. This is offer delta. And what this means is price is crossing the spread from the bid to the offer side and it's buying, but it's unable to move past this spot. So when you see a bunch of offer delta stacked like this, this indicates a large passive seller is standing here. And the way that you look for that, like that can signify absorption if price stops here and then reverses. So this is a good sign that a passive seller was up here. All active buyers were unable to buy through him. And so price reversed back to where, buyers ended up being. So it's just a way to spot absorption and, and that can be used in either direction. So if you were short, or if you were short up here or looking to be short and price pulls back here, you want to see passive sellers show up and then, offer actively back down. So once you get up here, see this absorption, see price move away from it. That's a good sign that, that long, that's where that long leg stopped. stuck up here now.
A dang 5-minute opening range mid.
Yeah. It's pesky.
ES is stuck right there too.
What time we got? 3:34 already. Okay. Yeah, and there's a lot. Speaking of absorption, here we are. Now we're getting into this area. So price is going to reverse off of this. So right now, here's another passive seller that's hanging out. Getting filled. Happy to be filled. Reloading. So it's about finding inflection points. And, based on your positioning.
Whoa, what just happened?
What happened?
There we go. Gosh, I was trying to move my stop.
Okay, cool. So we got through this passive seller.
Yes, we did.
So now we want to see continuation.
Nope. No. It's going to go.
A new high would be encouraging.
There we go. Now it's gone.
Trying to zoom in here. Okay, cool. And then that also reset our profile too. So this is set to reset every 60-point rotation. So this is we're now in a new rotation. We can see this absorption. And my plan is just to stay long above it. We'll put my stop in profit here. Because I'm trying to play for low a day here. But if we get back down here and we lose this spot again, I'm probably just flatten out. That would be funny. I should teach the kid how to start saying that. A new high be encouraging. I don't think they care what I'm up to, XY. they know I'm just in here yelling random stuff anyways. Sometimes it's a new high would be encouraging. Sometimes, you got to fill up the square drawer. There's, could be anything. The sound of a pirate's hat hitting the other side of the room. $22,070 and we're coming down. Okay. I like where Maruzzi's head's at. We can go up there. I'll take 100 points. That's fine. ES can't get back out of this node though, can it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that we're making a happy home down here.
This is that same spot yesterday.
Yeah.
That dang 45s that ES couldn't get through yesterday.
Here's more absorption, folks, asking about the blue-red thingy. Here was more. So this is yet another passive seller we have to chew through.
FX entropy. This is a 1500 volume chart on ES, not a tick chart.
Picture price like a friendly beaver, and these are all just different trees that we have to chew through. Yeah, this is a delta volume profile. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Volume knows best. Like your username. This beaver's got a lot of work to do. This is a lot of absorption. Yeah, so what we're seeing, and you can look at you can see delta on the DOM, you can see it in a footprint, but just using this delta volume profile, it's a good way to glance at this price action. So get up here, stall, big passive seller, break it, hit another one. Now we break this one or reverse it. So how does that help you? It just depends on what your positioning is. These are just tiny, tiny micro trend clues. I hope that this is part of the process I can take from today into the next day. I'm really trying to learn some lessons this week, Nick, and hammer them home.
What's the biggest one that's sunk in so far?
I don't know. I don't know. Not to be as trepidatious about getting in there and doing the thing that I know how to do. I think Jared told me I was being a little cautious about some stuff, and it was kind of hindering my ability to react quickly and get over the issue. So I'm really trying to lean into my mistakes for better or worse this week. So I mean, I cut size in half, but I want to still try to sling these ideas because I'm trying to keep these reps and trying to recover quickly and get back in. So I don't know. We'll see. And it's helping me narrate this delta volume profile while we do this. Because I'm long. So all these passive sellers are in my way. But you don't want to give up your long until you're sure if price is going to reverse off those passive sellers or not. So you got to give yourself little checkpoints along the way. Is how I try to look at them. And we did have some bid absorption coming in here to support, this buying that's chewing through this. The beaver has some reinforcements for now. So we got to see if that guy holds.
That pesky spot, I swear.
Yeah, still stuck, huh? Wow. Hey Terry. Yeah. Yeah. This is just the U.S. session for right now. I have some MGI from this green box is the London Open, and this VWAP is from the whole, including Globex session, the 24-hour one. But all the other stuff is this volume profile is just the U.S. session.
So you know why we can't break this absorption?
No, why?
We don't have enough likes.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
We only have 125 with 560 people currently watching this stream. So if you do, please do hit that thumbs up button. If not, Jim will not let Stowe and I leave today.
You guys ain't going nowhere.
Love that one. Literally just did that so I could hear Jim's voice.
Jim told me last night off air, he's completely ready to bankroll the entire Fed trading card operation. He's already applied for a home equity line of credit. And I guess we're going to leverage the beach house. So
he's locked to fund your endeavor. I love it.
I'm like, hey, Jim, you don't have to do this, man. You don't have, but he was so passionate about it. He's like, I have to put my house on the line. There's really no other way to do this. We got to go all in. So I was like, okay, man, whatever you got to do.
With
I'm down.
mortgage rates in the 7, I mean, that's trust right there.
Yeah, now is maybe in the history of space and time in our generation the worst time to ever refinance. But whatever you got to do.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that's going to be locked into my home forever with rates from 2020.
I had to give mine up when we bought our house last year. It was pain. It was very painful to let that interest rate go. It's okay. I'll get another one. Another one will come down the pipe for me.
Yeah, you just need to get on Team Trump and just start yelling for Powell to cut rates.
Well, if I thought it would help, I mean, yeah, it'd be good for my mortgage, I guess, but I don't know if it's going to be a good idea in general. So
No, probably not.
It's a little selfish of me to just want to save $300 a month on my mortgage or whatever. Jesse's ready to bet his whole family on this Topps trading card idea. That's great. Good. I love the dedication, guys. All right, come down, retest.
Yeah, we want to give people the opportunity, Stowe, with these trading cards, that you could actually go to one of their seminars, their symposiums, the post interview on CNBC, and actually get them to sign their card.
I'm really hoping. So I want to do I want to do real autographs, of course, but I need to get in somewhere with someone that works for someone that also thinks this is cool and funny. So that I haven't found that person, but there's got to be somebody that works for the Fed.
We can probably find an intern at the
right Chicago
Fed or something who thinks it's hilarious and funny.
I mean, they might also think it's cool.
They might.
Who knows? No, just Gary, we can't have a forger. So it's going to have to be, they're going to have to come with a certificate of authenticity. So. What is my best RR ratio achieved while trading futures? I don't know. What kind of question is that? Like, what was the greatest runner of all time? I think it was probably like during the insane volatility week when we had 1,000-point ranges. I think we had like a 600-point runner one time. Yeah, Leo had the most ridiculous trade ever that one day.
Nothing will top doing the being on camera with you during a good time to buy day. And you thinking you were an absolute insane person for longing the high up 9%, and we still rallied another 3%. What a time.
It doesn't make me not insane, but that was fun. That was a good time.
I was just I just can't do this. Good for him. And it worked. Something in my brain is like, you can't press the green button there.
Algo in 3 minutes already? Oh, man.
2 minutes.
All right.
They're going to push us back up to 55s, aren't they?
I don't know.
But Joe was even saying, too, the previous week value area high on ES sitting right there. So value area low, excuse me. So it wouldn't shock me if the algo basically takes us back to the point of control in the session.
Beaver's getting full up here at this 990 spot.
Let's see where Kane takes us.
Okay. I got my stop and profit, so I'm okay.
So Tracy said you should call Powell's office and just be yourself and just kind of smooze your way in there.
That sounds good, Tracy. I'm going to do that. But I want to start with some secondary. But it seems like Powell's got a lot on his plate, so maybe I'll start with like
Goolsby
or
Kashkari or something.
Jim says Goolsby is cool. He says he's cool. So Jim might be able to text them for me. I don't know. That's the other good thing with Jim being all in here is that I can use his Rolodex. Kashkari is talking. Yes, that's very true. I mean, I can drive to DC to get these signatures too. We can. I mean, that's not out of the question because I'm gonna need to.
Attention traders, it's algo time.
That authenticity.
Thank you, Kane.
Thanks, Kane. Godspeed.
And the Kane algo is indecisive on what it wants to do.
Yeah. What happened on ES? Still can't break that spot, huh?
Still sitting right around 47s.
Yep. Same. NQ just banged off the open again. All right. Well, Nick, we've got the double or nothing algo coming too, so.
I know. Maybe I should. I mean, I can't say this wasn't an eventful FOMC. We had a few nice trades.
Yeah.
They didn't keep us wedged in a 20-point NQ range, so that was good. I think you guys had a whopping 40 points yesterday.
Yeah, that was rough. About to lose me on this. Previous day close also right here.
Mm-hmm.
Same. Both pulled back to the previous day close at the same time.
We've really just been chopping around the 5-minute opening range for the last hour.
Yep. Okay. I put one more on to see if we're going to bid out of this back into value again. 352. Keep that in mind. Where's my fill in that ad? 60. Okay. 70.
Don't love that.
Nope, stuffed. Stuffed. That's a big sweep. Nick, can you poke ES with something?
I'll long it for you.
All right. Well, you don't know. You don't have to do that.
I'm going to long it for you.
It's like a minute left.
No, I was debating on getting in long anyway. Because if I get stopped, you know where it's going.
30 seconds on that.
It's going to come get me.
My ad was okay, but I didn't take the 10 points it gave me.
Still looks like buyers are on this.
I know.
Mm-mm.
Maybe just sell off into the close. I don't know. It seemed like a lot of absorption. Let's see if they can get out of it now.
Come on. You guys are not going home today? Not enough likes? You're right. Yeah, that was not good. Right at the opening range mid again on ES.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to come get me.
That's a fun spot to close, I guess. Well, good performance by the seller, I guess. I gotta tip the hat.
Now I just kind of want him to, like, if you're going to do it, like, punch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's making new low of the day, but we're running out of time. They keep giving me hope. $201 likes. We can go home, Stowe.
Thank goodness. I wish this price would go home.
Yeah, go to your home, which
You
is
did good for
a
your
little,
home?
a little higher.
Do you understand what the point of control is?
Not going to go home, are you?
It's got to.
They're coming for us. So Nick got stopped. So let's see if it sends now.
That last one was a tough one.
They were all pretty tough, Jim. Be honest with you.
I mean, they might do it again. Would love to see them. Okay, good. I did not get taken out on another tick low there.
No, I want to see this close though, because this is a weird spot to be putting the close in.
It always makes you feel better when your stop is hit and then the market keeps going, because now you can say, you know what? I had a stop in a good spot. I was right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this other stop, Jim, didn't feel great.
No.
I wonder if ES is going to try to close on the low of the day.
Yeah, right? Do you see what yeah.
60 seconds.
This is a little bit of a squeeze going on right now.
Looking like an inch on Fed day.
Ouch. All right.
There it goes.
Let's see.
Okay, now I feel better.
Ah, that low looks so bad in ES. So bad. Let me see this big chart. No, yeah, we didn't. Just at the bottom of this big node again, still. There she is.
You still in Stowe? I'm seeing Nick's screen right now.
Nah.
No, we both got stopped.
Yeah, I just got out before the close. It was a little silly.
50 handle swing on the Fed today after the release through the presser for the ES. So decent breadth, I guess, for it.
Yeah. Okay. So now we let the holiday digest it, huh?
I guess so.
Yeah. Although, again, we have the Globex session tonight. There's going to be some activity as well. So that'll be... It ain't over yet.
They wouldn't do anything too crazy in Globex, would they?
I've seen stranger things happen.
Same. Did you trade that the world's most evil Thanksgiving Eve ever? Do you remember that, Jim? What year was that, Nick? Like, was that 2022 or 21?
Yeah, I remember.
Ugh.
2020. Where was I? Was I in Chicago still? I might have been in Chicago still. I can't remember.
Okay.
I think I was.
Did you take your turkey over to the desk?
That was the COVID Thanksgiving, right?
I think it was the year after COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, year after COVID.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, I could just say, hey, I'm having a senior moment. I don't remember. So curiously though, good job today, guys. I know it's tough. How many folks that I've talked to today said I'm not trading FOMC today, period. So it's a testament to you guys to get in there and give it a shot.
Gotta try.
It's always a little chaotic, but hey, found a couple trades that worked out, a few that didn't.
Yep.
So anyway, the Pittsburgh Pirates hit did not come today. It's not coming until tomorrow. I logged into the Amazon account just to kind of check the status and
okay.
But I found something else in the cart that I didn't put there. It might be the greatest invention known to mankind. I'm sure there's patents on this thing all over the globe. It looks like a small tennis racket. You put batteries in it, and it electrifies the paddle, and you swat flies with it.
Yep.
Whoa! What?
Yeah, and not only do you kill the fly on impact, but you also fry the fly.
Whoa, that's awesome.
We do a couple of those ourselves, Jim, here in Texas. So
okay,
we do make good use of them at this time of the year.
I can't wait till mine gets here.
That's great.
It's a great purchase.
Did Mrs. Kaggs add the evil fly swatter and then you just stumbled upon it? Because that's what happens to me. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
I hope it's not meant for me, by the way.
Right.
I don't know.
Every time I'm like, go to checkout, and I'm like, whoa, I've got 8 items in here. Let's dig through this.
Yeah. Well, we had a great show today, start to finish. Let's do some shout outs. Michael Brown started it out with us this morning with me and Shai. Pharm, Kane popped in early because Tanya turned out unable to come today. So shout out to Kane, Jason Shapiro, Crowded Market Report. Brian Shannon was here with us. Alpha Trends, that guy's awesome. Tony Nash is also was great on a post FOMC analysis. He's got a couple of opinions. If you didn't hear it, it's worth a listen.
That guy rules.
And of course, the amazing OrderFlow Labs team of Nick Furtick and Stowe. So shout out to you guys. Thanks for a great day today.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
All right. Well, yeah, you have a long weekend, guys, right? Tomorrow's an off day. Friday might be an off day. I don't know for Nick. I don't know about you, Stowe.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. If it needs to not rain for one day so I can cut my grass. It's a jungle out there right now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Friday.
Very awesome. Well, regardless, you guys have a great weekend. We will see you next week. We'll be here strong Monday morning. We'll be here Friday. Me and Shai will be going Friday with Sarah, Strat, Sniper, and then of course Pax. One of my most favorite people in the world are going to be here early with me Friday morning. So no NinjaTrader live tomorrow, folks, but we will be strong Friday morning and then again on Monday. So. Thanks for everybody coming. Great chat community. Everyone's supporting each other. Especially appreciated you with Brian Shannon's support today. If you were there, that was great with the charts. And let me remind you, most important message of the day, especially going into a holiday, please be safe out there. Be good to each other. See you soon.
Thanks, guys.